Hello everybody, Alex here from Snake On Exotics, and today we're cutting down the electric bill. Well, we're going to give it a go. I've got it. It's all the insulation and all the stuff we've done, it's not bad at all. But we're going to give it a go and see if we can make it even better. So as you know, we've got super insulation around all the reptile tanks. Not much more I can do with them. There is an idea I thought of which I'm going to tell you about in a bit. We can't do it today, but it is something I'm thinking about doing. Main thing is the fishy tanks. So that's what we're going to be working on today. So please like, subscribe, comment, share, ring the bell for me, and let's keep it nice and warm. That's the plan. Okay. Well, the reptiles, it was easy. Just put polystyrene around the sides. So we've got, if you look in the bushes, see in there, I've just got painted polystyrene. That is about nearly 2 inches thick. Really, almost as thick as that. Almost. And then we have the cork bark on the front, which is almost an inch thick in itself. So that keeps a lot of the heat. The wood, there's not much gets out of the wood. There is an air gap at the back of at least 4 inches. And then there is polystyrene against the wall, another inch. Because we need airflow in the back as well. Because that's quite important. We couldn't just have everything all sealed in. It wouldn't work very well. So what we have is, we have a chimney, which I'm actually going to show you. I'm going to go a bit more deep into this than what I usually do. But we have a chimney. I'm going to show you how it's designed and how I made it so it worked really well. Okay, so how I've got it working, it's quite clever. So we have the fresh, because it's not touching the floor, we have a good almost half a foot or more down the bottom where it's on a plinth. No, sorry, it's on legs, not on a plinth, it's on legs. We have a gap for the air to come up, go underneath and up the chimney. And the hot air comes out the top, which is like chimney exhaust or whatever, you kind of makes it easy for you to understand. So we get fresh air goes underneath, up, because fresh, warm air rises. So as the air rises out of there, it sucks fresh air in. And all this air slowly leaks out and changes and gets nice fresh air in there. So if we lift this up, this is also where the air will come out, but overside this way and that way. If I there you go, so you can see we've got way for the hot air to escape at the top, and down there is our chimney. That's where all the hot air comes up. Oh, whoop. There we go. So that's how I keep the airflow on the tanks pretty good. And it also keeps the heat in, which is really important. Fish, it's a bit harder to do. I'm going to come back to that little thing I'm going to do with the glass maybe afterwards. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it, but my idea, I'm going to tell you about it after we've done the job on here. Fish, it's a bit harder to do because you need to see them a lot more, and it's glass and there's not really much else we can do. But what I have done and what we're going to add to today is make the back one big radiator, because what I don't want is the wall, which I've got a concrete wall this side and I've got a different type of wall that side. So this is a brick one, so this is cold. What I don't want is the bricks constantly sucking all the heat out of the fish tanks, because cold attracts heat. So the cold zaps at the heat and draws it away from whatever's hot. What we don't want is that to happen. So what I've done is at the back, see if we can see. We have, let me see. There we go, we've got loads of sheets of plasterboard that keeps everything. And further down we've got more plasterboard. There was a lot more, but my dad knew I had loads of plasterboard stuck down there spare, and he liberated me of some pieces. So it's not the end of the world. So what we're going to do today is semi-replace that, but with polystyrene. Twice as good as the plasterboard anyway. So we're going to stack on top of that plasterboard, and then we're going to fill it all in here and then stack it on top of each other behind it. It's going to be very hard to do. It's going to probably be just dropping a load until it fills itself up. We have got quite a bit. We may not have enough to do all of it, but we're going to give it a go. We're going to start at that end because that's the one with the big glass window. So that's where we're going to lose the most heat. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start at that end. Work our day down with all the polystyrene. I'll show you that in a sec. We've got loads of big sheets. Well, I say averagely large sheets. I've got even more at the back as well that we use for underneath tanks. So that's the plan today. Let's get these warm and see if we can try and cut down the lecky on the fishes. Maybe. Here it is. I've got all the polystyrene out. There's quite a big pile there. And it's got to go. So I've got my ladders. Down. Can we actually even see anything? Can we see? No, it's just a blur. Ah, yeah, so we've got to put it all the way down there. Get as much as we can back there, all the way along. And we can check by coming under here. Oh, I've just knocked that out the track. And then we can see, make sure everything lands nice, doesn't trap anything. And then we can see how it's building up, because we want to get at least half all full up, and then any extra we get will be a bonus. So let's grab some sheets and start see if we can chuck it down there, see what it looks like, or it's just going to be a big pile of mess. Well, I've got some sheets with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we might have to get the bigger ladders. You can see what I'm doing. I'm going to drop the first slot. I'm knocking stuff apart now. Okay, and I'm just going to slot them down like that, and I'm going to have a look how it's landed. Put 2 in at a time. So I'm hoping there will stack a bit better if there's 2 there. What I want is eventually it to be right up here. Then we know then we're pretty high up there. Still going. I think we're just piling it up down the bottom. I might have to have a better way of doing it. Ah! Might just knock it down even more now. There, what's happening is it's piling up in big piles. Let's have a little look. Can you see? It don't look too bad actually. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Let's see if I can get a better look. So I've got 2 that are stacked up against the wall, and then the last one is on a slight angle, which is perfect. So what we're going to do now is come down here where there is none. This plasterboard. Where did it go? So I've got a bit, you can see, I've got a big piece of polystyrene there, which we're going to be adding to. We've just done this gap here. So, I don't know how many pieces. We must have, let's see, it's coming out there as well. Look. So we must have a bunch of them stacked up. I might slide this over and see if I can get a look and take out any of the spare ones, so we can use a bit more coming down here. So basically, I think with the height that one is, we're going to be just doing 1 lot here. That was going to be a little bit more than what we normally would on the rest of it, and then hopefully this one should all fill out as well. But I believe we're going to have to put a lot more in this section by the tree, because I'm pretty sure there is yeah, there's nothing there. Look, big gap by the tree. So we've got polystyrene stops and a big gap where I haven't got plasterboard or polystyrene. So I've got more polystyrene. I'll move a little bit closer. And let's chuck some down. So we're about okay. We'll spread them about now a bit. Try and fill the area up. Oh, that will hit something then. I've got some shorter pieces as well, like that one compared to this huge piece. So we can do little toppers, like that one is. That one's fell perfect. That one sounded near me. Let's come down here again. Yeah, that fell in the void. Knocking everything across. Need a bit more finesse. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we're right by the tree. Let me turn the torch on. What can we see? No, why does it go blurry every time? It's weird. Move a bit further along so you can actually see anything. So we got slowly building up. We're all right there. We are getting thicker on them ones. So I still need to put some more down. It's a bit awkward because I physically can't see very well. I'm basically, what you can see is what I can see because I'm looking at the camera while we're filming it. So it's awkward for me to see. Just keep filling it up. Check down the bottom and keep filling it up. So the big void next to the tree is being filled up. The rest of this slot where we already had some is building up above it, which is perfect, so we're not wasting anything down here. But that's filling all up nicely for us. Then we can carry on all the way up. So that section now, all the way along, we are hitting polystyrene all the way along. So we'll have a look after. I'm going to try and see if we can get a better way for you to look at it, because it's just blurry every time I try and look. But then turning the lights off might help. Actually, it might be a good idea. I'll try turning the lights off. The glare might be doing it. For this section, we're doing it differently. So on that one, I was doing them this way because they were nice and thick, and we wanted them to build up. These ones, they're too thin. They're not going to stack on each other. I could have them all sat at the bottom like this if it landed perfectly, which is the opposite of what I wanted. We wanted to, perfect would be them sitting perfectly on top of each other like that. This wouldn't be what we want. Would work really well as inside out. I mean, my hands are so warm on this, it's ridiculous. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to stand them up and run them along like this, and then they'll be, we can just drop one down all the way along, and the height and that will equal out, and we can just go back and forth until we've, it's all going to be at least that high off the ground, and then we can start filling it up after that. This is just the basic to start a layer off for us, mate. So let's crack on, let's get this truck behind there. I don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to give it a go anyway. It's going to be awkward. It's going to... Oh no, just go straight down. I thought it was going to be awkward. Then move a little bit along, do another one. Go apart, there's a bracket there. There we go. Oh, okay. That one's hit something. Oh, you can't even see. That one's hit something. I might be able to break that one off there and have it at the top. See how far we can go. There we go. It's hitting something back there. Get further along. Hit something again. So we're getting a good level now where I can just cut those off, and it's going to be protecting it against the wall higher up, which is one of the main things I've been struggling to do. Because they're so high and angled away from the wall, it's so hard to do any insulation at all. That sounded good. Sounded like I filled in a good gap there. I'll go right to the end now. Okay, you can see me. Still got 4 more, and then we're all done apart from trimming them off. Lovely. Let's trim those ones off, see if we can have a look at what we've done. Well, some of it worked well, some of it hasn't. The thinner stuff has basically just almost all fell down flat. I spent the last 5 minutes leaning over the back with my grabber, trying to pull them up and lay them into better positions. I managed to do it with a couple, but some of them, they're just falling back down again. We need the big, thicker stuff like we have here, because the one of them's fell perfect at the start. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. Then we have some further down. They're against the wall and stuff like that, so it has filled it up, which is really, really good. So I'm happy that we've got a good fill at the back. See? All the way down we've got some. Here it didn't really work as planned. So we've got some standing up, a bit more higgledy-piggledy. It might do something against the wall. It's better than doing nothing. So we did something. This section here is a lot better. This one here was kind of a gimme, so I had some spare polystyrene. I thought it's not going to hurt, so I did it anyway. Oh well, apart from that, let's crack on. And oh, I'm going to tell you the last bit, what we're going to do with what my plan would be if I was going to do anything extra with the heating for the Reptile. If you want to save some good electricity on your Reptile tank of the night time, just put a nice blanket over it. That's all you have to do. Keep the heat in of the night time. The light bulb will dim a lot more, and it's going to save a lot more of your electricity. They don't use much anyway, but it would reduce it some. What I would like to do in the shop eventually, if I get some money, would be something like this. So I get some cork panels cut perfectly sized to this, that I can just plonk in of a night time, fill the gaps up, just plonk, 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 plonk. It'd look cool because it would just look like one tree, which I think would be really cool, and it would keep all the heat in. So that's what I'd like to do. It might be cool to even have them on little windows, but it'd be a pain with customers and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I'd like to do, is have some cork bark plugs or something. I don't know how you would describe that, which would then plug into these spots and then allow less heat to escape during the night times. That's what I'd like to do. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video today. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, ring the bell for me. If you want to watch a video, there should be one there. If you want to subscribe to the channel, it's up there. If you want to playlist, it's up there. Apart from that, we'll see you in the future. Bye.